Disc rot. What is it? What causes it? How is it going to affect our collections? How can we prevent it? Let's look at it. So when I first got into collecting, I collected more of the cartridges more than anything. I was into Nintendo and Super Nintendo, so I didn't really have a problem with disc rot. But as I expanded into the disc games, I still didn't really see a whole lot until I opened up the store. And PlayStation 2 games are very popular with people of a certain age, the millennials. They call that retro, so they love it. So I do a lot of dealings with PlayStation 2 games. And I was surprised that a lot of them come back. A lot of PlayStation 2 games come back. Even though they're absolutely spotless, they come back. Why? The little thing called disc rot. Another big culprit with disc rot, GameCube. Now, what exactly is disc rot? Well, there's layers to a CD, DVD, game discs, and the layer that has the information on it degrades, it oxidizes, and it goes away. How do we prevent this? Well, I am South Georgia. It is, in the summertime, it's regularly 95 degrees plus, and the humidity is ungodly. Those are the biggest things that cause disc rot: heat and humidity. So what's the best way to prevent this? Well, keep your games out of the heat. Keep your games inside. You know, a lot of people store these games in attics or garages or someplace where it's not protected from extreme heat or extreme cold. We prevent this by keeping them inside. Now, can we completely stop this? No, we cannot. The sad truth is that eventually all the games you have will rot away. Now, it might not be this year, it might not be in 5 years, it might not be in 10 years, but eventually all of them will go away. Now, if you look at a GameCube game, if you look at the back of it up to a light, you'll see that the layer that holds the information is thinner than any other game. If you hold the back up to the light, and I'm going to show you how to look for what it is. And I think that's why GameCubes have the worst for disc rot. But a close second for me anyways, being in South Georgia with the heat and humidity, is PlayStation 2. So let's look and see how you can see if there is any disc rot, if that's your problem. Alright, so I have it dark over here so we can use the flashlight and show you how to look. So this is Tekken 5 for PlayStation 2. I put tape over the center so when I put it on the light we'll be able to see it better, if we can see it at all. Let's see if we can. So I just have a flashlight here that goes up. We're going to turn it on. And I want to see if we can see the spots. Alright, so there's a spot right there. And there's also a spot right in the 5 right there. See how the light shines through it? There's also another spot on here. There is one right up there. So that is the information layer decomposing and going away, and that's why we can see the light shine through it. Now, this isn't from scratches, this isn't from anything else, but just there's a great shot of it right there, right there. That is, I'll go over in the light so you can't really tell. There's no, this isn't a case of it being milky or anything else. That is just the information layer degrading. And the only way you can really tell is to put it on a light like that. And even then, just because you put it on the light doesn't mean, if you do see a spot like that, doesn't mean that it won't work. Sometimes it's not in a spot that really matters, but in this case it did. So once again, let's keep our discs inside. Let's keep them in climate control and not let the humidity get to them. That's the best way that we can try to slow the disc degradation down. I like using that term. I know if you look up disc degradation online, it'll actually pull up spine problems, but it sounds better than disc rot to me anyways. Another thing I wanted to show you today was resurfacing. So it's not uncommon for you to pick games up at a flea market or whatever, and you flip the disc over, it is just gnarled up. It is absolutely filthy. It's covered in stuff. Or it is just scratched up. And I'm not talking about deep scratches that look like they put on there with a screwdriver. I'm talking about kids that just took a disc, and I'm going to do this because this disc doesn't work. Just drop it and go like this with it and put them in a stack together, and they get scratched together. And what happens is you just end up with these little tiny scratches all over it. And I'm going to show you, there's a couple of different ways to get those scratches out. Let's look at that. So when I first started collecting and noticing this, I looked for the best way to clean discs. And I come across this, and I think it was about $100, maybe $120 online. And this is a JFJ Easy Pro. This is a disc repair machine. It's a pretty simple machine. It is dirty because I've used it a lot. This thing actually does a really good job for how much it cost. It's pretty basic. So you got the part up there, you put the disc on, and you put a little of the compound on the thing, and you hit one of the buttons and it goes. Alright, so here's the machine. Like I said, it's pretty simple. You put a disc on it. This is their polishing compound. You just put a little bit of the compound on the pad, and you shut the door, turn it on. Now it does have 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute, and I believe it's 2 minutes on there. I always hit just at first hit it with 10 seconds. Now this thing is loud. And it shuts off. Now this one, when you open it up, you can see the swirls on the disc. Microfiber. I like to kind of clean it up before I get it off there and see if it's as clean as I want it to be. So when it is, you take it off, you clean it up, and that's this machine. Like I said, this one is a pretty inexpensive one. You can get these for about $100. They actually make a pro one, a different style one now. It's a little bit more expensive, but I don't see. So for a collector that's looking for something halfway cheap to clean the discs, I highly recommend this. This is a neat little machine. So I took a disc and I purposely scratched it up to show you what this thing can do. You can see it's scratched it up pretty good. Get a good view of it. There's pretty good. So see all the scratches in it. So this other machine I got this. This is a Zura Uno, I think it's called. And this is more of an automatic system. So you put the disc in, you lock it, and you can do it for 30 seconds, 60, 90, 120, or 180. We'll just do this one for 30 seconds and see what it does. This one actually has a drying thing to it too, so it dries it when it before it does Let me take this out. And I'm going to need both hands to wipe it off. I'll be right back. It's after 30 seconds in the machine. You can see the scratches are gone. This machine is absolutely fantastic. So that's the new machine, and this is the one I've had for a long time. Once again, I highly recommend one of these for anybody who's just a collector that you know finds the dirty discs, or if you're in this area, or there's a lot of places that do this. I charge 99 cents to run a disc through the machine. 99 cents, that's it. A lot of people come in with stacks of discs. You know, if you can fix your copy of, you know, Tekken 5 instead of trying to find one somewhere else for, you know, 10 bucks or 20 bucks or whatever they go for, 99 cents, and it fixes it and you can play it, that's wonderful. But if you got a lot of discs and you want to do it yourself, I highly recommend this little machine. It doesn't do as much as this one does, but it's still for the price. This is about $100. I think I paid $1,500 used for this one, and it takes you gotta keep finding the polymer and stuff for it. So, yeah. Disc degradation, we can slow it down, but we can't stop it. I hope some of this helped you to maybe find out what's wrong with the disc. I know there's a lot of people who go, I don't know what's wrong, it just doesn't work. You know, grab a flashlight, look, see if you can see any of those small holes. Some discs, it's very obvious. You can tell. It ought to have that milky substance that's in between layers, and more common is the little specks of light that will come through that are just from the information going away. And that is by far the most common thing. And once again, PS2 and GameCube. If you already haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up. I very much appreciate it. Any questions or comments, go ahead and ask me below. With Retro Reboot, I'm Dan. See ya.